3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular. Mystery reading number 1015. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a reoccurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support, as well as your presence during this reading. So, starting with interpreting the number 1015, the number 1 is about trusting yourself. I'm also feeling for this reading, it's about believing in yourself, in your strength, your light, your ability to change or create change. Those were just more specific examples. You could feel called to trust yourself more in a different way. And there are 2 1s in this number, of course. So no matter what we say about the number 0 or 5 or whatever 1015 adds up to, I do think it's the most important during this reading to trust yourself, whether it's what's in the reading itself or how you feel it is guiding you or offering you. The number 0 is about a journey. And of course, all journeys have a beginning and an end. And when one journey ends, you transition into a new one. Or your focus just shifts your priority to a different journey that already exists. So you could be going through some sort of change or transition where one journey is ending and a new one is or will be starting or beginning. I don't know if I already said that it's about at least 2 journeys, but the reason why I say that is because the journey that you take in the relationship that you have with yourself is a lifelong journey. Healing, choosing self-love over self-destruction is a lifelong journey. The relationship with yourself, I believe that journey always comes before any other journey or any other commitment. So, while there is this journey with yourself and about self-love and healing and all of that stuff, there could also be another journey that is parallel to this journey, or more than one journey that's parallel to working through and committing to the relationship that you have with yourself. And if you need to, it's always okay to choose yourself, to put yourself first, especially when it comes to your needs. You might need to have more work-life balance, less work, more play, or less play and more work and structure. There is this general feeling that maybe you need to create more balance in your life. The number 5 is about change and transformation, and as soon as I started talking about the number 5, I looked down at the timer on my phone, and it said 444, which will be interesting once we get into the cards. But that confirms to me that you are changing as a person to become more stable and secure within yourself, and or you're also creating a reality that is more stable and secure as a reflection of the stability and the security that you are creating within yourself. And being reminded again about the number one and how it's most important during this reading to trust yourself. Trust what you feel called to do, the decisions you feel called to make to create peace, balance, stability, and security, and safety in your life. Your ancestors in particular do feel connected to this reading. I think they, of course, you and whatever you feel is right to protect yourself and your future and your peace. Because your ancestors, they want these things for you. They want you to be happy, and they don't just want you to survive, they want you to thrive too. You just have to make decisions that allow you to do more than just survive. You deserve to have a life that is about more than just survival. We all do. Adding up these numbers, let's go ahead and do that. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 5 is 7, which is about wisdom and learning lessons, finding deeper meaning, expanding your awareness and your consciousness. This really makes me think of your healing journey and the journey that you have with yourself. You're learning a lot about yourself, finding deeper meaning in who you are, what you've been through, and what your future could be, who you could be in the future. And I think, that this brings a really, really nice, satisfying feeling, connecting with yourself. You could be feeling this as well. And that could be a sign that you are on the right track. We're 7 minutes into the video. At least recording this portion is not going to be exactly 7 minutes for you because of the intro. But yeah, whatever you're learning, keep learning. Keep healing. And keep expanding your awareness and your consciousness. Keep exploring, I want to say, within yourself and in the world to find deeper meaning or fulfill a sense of purpose or deeper meaning that you have already discovered. This really just feels like encouragement to keep doing what you've been doing when it comes to healing and connecting with yourself and really growing in a spiritual way. There could definitely be some ancestral knowledge that you have learned. Maybe you're feeling more connected to animals or your instincts or nature, which is really nice in the digital age that we live in. I do think a lot of us need to spend more time outside. We need to go touch grass a little more. I think all of our ancestors are wanting us to spend more time outdoors and less time not only indoors but also on technology, so we can remember who we are as human beings and what we need as humans. Connection. Of course, not only with our environment and nature and animals, but other people too. I am hopeful that in the future, after we get out of this period of where everyone's feeling isolated and lonely, we will find new and creative ways to connect more with each other in the real world. I just feel like there's so much going on globally, nationally, locally, that it's really hard for people to focus on connecting with other people when really we're all just trying to survive. These days are pretty scarce for a lot of people. But I do believe and I trust that this is only temporary. Like everything good and bad in the world, it's only temporary. But I also think it's really important because it encourages us to focus more on ourselves, our growth, our healing in our own lives, and allowing us to become stronger, not only individually, but also as a whole, as a collective. And to move into the cards now, and this is where it gets interesting. I mean, if it wasn't already. And I'm going to start off with the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards. I did this in a reading recently where I started with Oracle cards instead of Tarot cards, and it was unusual for me, and I felt called to do it again for this reading because of certain signs and feelings that I saw and that I had. There could be the need here to let go of something or someone or release something to honor what you deserve and what you need. Let's shuffle out this card now. Wow. This is a really nice card to come out. This is what it looks like. Explore your creative side, visualize, paint, and record. I am recording a video, but 1 second. Yeah, I do feel called to read from the guidebook for this one. But before I do that, I want to interpret this card intuitively. And what's really standing out to me is the imagery itself, you know, drawing, or painting, whatever you want to call it, in a cave. I just heard the word dipingere, which I believe means to paint in Italian. So somebody's ancestors could be encouraging them or validating something related to painting. Maybe that is your creative medium. And if you don't have one, this card, I feel, is here to encourage you to find it, to find a way to express yourself that works for you. And it's also okay if it's unique and unheard of. I just feel like we are all creators. And it's important to create and express ourselves in a way that feels true to who we are, what we think, feel, and believe about ourselves and about the world. I want to say especially about the world, just because I learned that some smart people, I don't know exactly what profession they're in, but they believe, maybe they're archaeologists, I don't know, but they believe that people way back when did cave paintings for religious purposes. Some people believe that. Oh. I just realized it does say paint there. I know I said it, but it didn't click for me. Just, I guess I forgot it for a second. But, is there anything else I wanted to say? This really gives me like a primal feeling and connecting with your roots, your nature. Definitely with your nature, your humanness, you know. The sacral or solar plexus chakra might be significant for somebody, or maybe even for me when I go to edit this video. But let's go ahead and read from the guidebook. Let me find the card. Starts with letter E. That could be a significant letter for somebody. No, it's this way. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know how to say this. Aurignacian peoples lived in the forests of southwestern France 38,000 years ago. Talk about some time ago. These people were hunters and gatherers who lived and came together in large rock shelters during the winter months. The caves provided warmth and shelter from the bitter cold, as well as a surface for some of the world's first cave art. Mammoths, horses, alpine goats, and deer, geometric designs, dots, and people appear in these ancient works of art. The artists also engraved bones in stone and crafted beautiful ornaments. These artists, these people, were skilled and made use of crevices or raised surfaces to paint animals with perspective. There's evidence that these people had full-time artists and that some art was based on shamanic presence. Yeah, there's confirmation of what I was saying about how some people did it for religious purposes. Maybe you feel called to express or create for your own religious or spiritual purposes. This could be specific to somebody who feels drawn to painting, but I also feel called to share my own way that I create. It inspired me to mention, even if it's unique or unheard of, what you feel called to. Because for me, my creative medium is photo and video editing. I mean, you can kind of tell. But I started editing photos when I was a teenager, and it's something that I have since loved and invested in. But if you've seen a recent post of mine, I also mentioned how I usually, or oftentimes, maybe not all the time, but oftentimes I get inspired that work that already exists. So like songs or certain images that people have already created or photos that people have taken. That's how it is more unique to me. There's a lot of people out there who do edit photos and videos to express themselves creative. So many people. But I feel it's more unique in my case because a lot of the times it's with art that already exists, especially music. And later down the line, depending on how long you stick around, you might see some interesting things that I will share eventually, hopefully, if I'm able to. Reading the Ancestors Speak portion of this guidebook, it says, get your artistic energy flowing, try to make time for yourself to paint, write, sing, play, bake, or build every day. This is reminding me of what I said about a work life or a balance between work and play. This could be confirmation for somebody to incorporate more play and less work in your life. Even if you can only find a few minutes at a time, regularly engaging your imagination will make a noticeable difference in your energy. I study Italian for only 10 minutes whenever I'm not like taking a break day where I study for 4 hours. But like this card says, 10 minutes can be enough. You do not have to be an artist, musician, or chef. When you start thinking more creatively, you invite inspiration and ingenuity to all that you do. In the divinatory meaning, the last part, when you unlock your imagination, you are opening yourself to healing energy from the universe. Creativity is connected to your passion, your solar plexus, and sexual chakras. What was I talking about? The sacral and solar plexus chakras. It is also linked to life force and positive energy. When you are not using your creativity, you can start to feel restless, frustrated, or numb. Re-energized by painting, planting, sewing, singing, playing, or thinking outside of the box. Maybe especially thinking outside of the box for somebody. This card also encourages you to look for a unique solution to a problem, a creative solution. Alright, let's go ahead and move into the tarot cards now. I'm going to use I was going to use the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot, but I'm being guided to switch to the Prisma Visions Tarot. I just use these cards too. Alright, this is what these cards look like, if you don't already know. Interesting, I just had an itch where your third eye chakra is supposed to be, and on the back of these cards, there's an eye. Maybe an eye is a significant symbol for you, or my intro itself could be confirmation that you are in the right place. What is your intuition telling you? Where is it trying to guide you? I definitely feel one thing it's calling you to do is to express yourself in one way or another. First card I have is the Ace of Swords in reverse. This card always reminds me, or typically, sometimes it can be interpreted differently, but typically reminds me of a pending realization. It feels like there is potential here for you to realize something or something to be revealed to you. And the best way to unlock this information or this realization is to explore your creative side. As this card says, I forgot to mention, I feel inspired. Whenever I feel inspired by music, it's certain lyrics that stick out to me, that give me visuals that I feel called to put in like physical form, and that's why I like video and photo editing. So maybe whatever you feel called to do creatively, you are meant to create visions that you have, or feelings, turning it into something more tangible, something that you can look at and understand what it's conveying, if that makes sense. I mean, isn't that what art is about? This opportunity to see something in your own art, your own creativity is there. The potential is there, and your ancestors want you to know it for some reason. I'm seeing the number 111. Trust yourself. I'm most certainly going to trust myself that your ancestors are wanting to show you something through your creativity for a reason. Wow! And for the last card for this reading, we have the High Priestess. We also have the third eye chakra, the moon. This High Priestess is really confirming that your intuition, your inner voice is trying to guide you or encourage you or inspire you to create something. You know, art or whatever you feel called to. And it feels like it's important, especially to your ancestors, to trust what your gut is telling you, what inspires you to create. The High Priestess has the number 2 on it, and we're 2 minutes into this last segment that I'm recording for this video. This number can be about quite a few different things. The first way that I interpret it is its confirmation. Oh my gosh, I just looked down the timer and I saw the number 222. It is most certainly confirmation for somebody that whatever realization you're going to have, or that you can have through your art or your creativity, it's about a certain relationship, many relationships, or a certain situation or many situations. Perhaps it is very true that there needs to be a creative solution to a unique problem in a relationship or a situation, and you can find this solution within yourself and how you express yourself, artistically or creatively, like I've been saying. The number 2 can also be about balance, and I want to say peace and stability. Maybe there needs to be more balance in a relationship or a situation, and this is just confirmation of that. I don't know if I said it in this reading already or one before this one about needing to, there's this general feeling of needing to create more balance. Actually, I do think it was this one, and that's just confirmation there. 333 could be a significant number. That one came out in the previous reading. The last way that I interpret the number 2 is your choices and prioritizing what means the most to you. And I feel a great way to prioritize what means the most to you is to choose to express yourself creatively or artistically, to find some sort of solution or for something to be revealed to you that your ancestors really want you to see or understand. And this could definitely be related to family. It really could. Or a close relationship like a partner or a best friend who helps you in some way feel more stable and secure in who you are, or even physically if they're offering that kind of support. All I have to say is trust yourself and express yourself.